things looked so good that they said that they were going to grow the economy 5% in 4 years.
Yeah.
I remember, I think, a debate in 2020 with yourself and Nigel Clark. It was 2020 when he was asked what happened to 5 in 4, and him gave a pretty. No, it wasn't 2020. That was 2016.
No, man, 2020.
2020, you debate with him.
Yes.
Right.
I quote him.
And him give some pretty argument that never really mean nothing. We are at a stage now, opposition leader, where they are saying that the economy will grow maybe 0.8%, going down to even 0.2%. That for me poses a serious problem to Jamaica. You are looking forward to winning the next election. I want to talk about election yet, but you're looking forward to win it. The PNP is poised. Everything is lining up that we are going to win it. We want to talk to you now how you're going to manage this problem. Low growth, low wage, low tech, low income economy, low production. The PNP going to be in trouble again like we were in 2011. Talk to us how you're going to work that out.
Well, my peeps, I don't know about you, but I, for one, am very, very anxious to hear what the response to that absolutely brilliant question is. You're not dying to hear it too. Yes, man, me want to hear. What a question. I have to tell you, I have not heard such a brilliant question coming from anybody in media in a very long time. Matter of fact, since Perkins, him used to know how to ask questions. But I have to tell you, that was a very, very excellent question. But let me not keep you. Let me give you my customary welcome and then get back to this question and answer business of Comrade Colin Bell, who, by the way, was replaced in East Portland, thrown aside for Isaac Buchanan. Anyhow, let me give you my customary welcome to Jamaica 411. Thank you so much for stopping by. Keep me company as usual. If you're here with me for the first time, welcome. Please subscribe, share the video, give the video a thumbs up, and also feel free to leave your comments in the comments section, all right? Now, to my subscribers and regular viewers, welcome back. Always nice to have you, with me. I know you're going to make your comments as usual. I do appreciate that. And but in the meantime, you know the ropes, right? You're going to give the video a thumbs up from now. Share the video widely and then return to join us so that we can, of course, get down to business. So, of course, as always, I thank you in advance. Great. All right. So we did promise to get down to business. Well, let me play that little piece of clip again with that absolutely fantastically brilliant question. Let's listen.
We are at a stage now, opposition leader, where they are saying that the economy will grow maybe 0.8%, going down to even 0.2%. That for me poses a serious problem to Jamaica. You are looking forward to winning the next election. I want to talk about election yet, but you're looking forward to win it. The PNP is poised. Everything is lining up that we are going to win it. We want to talk to you now how you're going to manage this problem. Low growth, low wage, low tech, low income economy, low production. The PNP going to be in trouble again like we were in 2011. Talk to us how you're going to work that out.
So let me pause here for a moment and deal with this question that was asked by Colin Bell. Now, why is it that I say it's a brilliant question? Simple. He's not pointing out a problem and asking to discuss the problem. He's saying, first of all, everything is pointing to the direction that the PNP will form the next government. That's what that question means. Mark Golding is the one that's putting out these polls, which suggest that. Now he's saying, now that we are on the cusp of victory, please tell us, how are you going to deal with these problems that he has been talking about, Mark Golding has been talking about for a while? Low growth, low wages. Remember, he talks about living wage. Yes, low wages. Asking him now, You have a problem with low wages? You say we Jamaicans should have a livable wage. So, all right, wages are low. How you going to deal with that? The growth is a problem. This 0 point what 0.2% growth is not good enough. He's saying how you going to deal with that because you have been talking about that. You've been talking about low tech. Is him talking about low tech? So tell us now, when you form the next government, since he's of the opinion that he will and become prime minister, how are you going to deal with the low tech problem? There is also low production, which Mark keeps talking about. How are you going to deal with that low production problem? Because you're now in Jamaica House. Tell us now how you deal with it. You see why the question is a brilliant question, and you don't really hear that kind of question being asked, the way in which that he asked it. Now, when you hear Mark's answer, I want you to tell me in the comment section whether he answered the question. Whether he answered the question about low wages and how he intends to fix that, low growth and how he intends to fix that, low production and what he intends to do in order to bring the production up. You tell me in the comment section if he answered the question. And another thing I want you to consider, he knew he was coming on this program. And I don't know if he underestimated the young man that he would ask these questions, but I would think that if you have plans in response to these issues, plans that will solve these problems, then they should be foremost in your mind. When you come on, you're ready for the questions and therefore you can answer fulsome. So let us now listen to whether or not he answered the question, and you tell me what you think about his responses. Let's listen.
So the situation is different. So where we are now is that the public finances and the debt are no longer in a position of jeopardy then. Things have been sorted out at that level through the successful policies and the pursuit of those policies over a 10-year period. So the debt of 147% of GDP is now around 70% of GDP. It's been cut in half in 10 years, which is a remarkable achievement.
Pardon me for butting in, but I needed to listen very carefully to what he's saying here. Past 10 years. The past 10 years would have been from 2014 until now. Who has been in power for the majority of that time? Listen to him very carefully, and we're going to come back to this.
Internationally, people say, wow, that's quite something. And Jamaica should feel good about that because that is something that we have done. Many other countries have not been able to do it, but we did.
I don't want you to lose your thought, Comrade Leader, but I must say something. You have said this on a platform, and I see labor rights plastering it everywhere. And I said to myself, wonderful. My leader is honest. My leader speaks the truth. If that is happening, it is happening. Yeah. And I think that shows the difference between you, who are able to say this is good, and those people who can't find nothing good on the other side.
This is all well and good, Comrade Colin, but there is a magnificent and significant difference, because Mark Golding has been known to say things that are not true whole heap of time. The fact that he's now speaking the truth according to you is rather strange, and even my labor right friends would agree in the comment section, I'm sure, that this admission by Mark Golding is rather strange. Don't you agree? And the curious thing is, this is not the first time he has done it. This is not the first time he has said it. He's been up and down the place, right? Saying the same thing, literally promoting the government policy that he says is on the wrong track. Now, does that make any sense? That is the point that I'm making, but let's continue to listen.
If that is happening, it is happening. Yeah. And I think that shows the difference between you, who are able to say this is good, and those people who can't find nothing good on the other side.
Yeah, well, I suppose that's because, as you said, I didn't come to this politics early in my career, and politics is not all I know. You know, I was part of other things before I came, and I came here to serve Jamaica. and where Jamaica has achieved something good, and both sides have contributed, I'm not going to say otherwise.
I want to applaud you for doing that, Comrade Leader, and I want to big you up and continue to be honest, truthful, and forthright. Big you up for that.
Enough respect. Give thanks to me. Give thanks.
That was a nice one, though, Colin. Nice try. And, and Mark is going to continue to go out there and promote Andrew Holness policies, telling everybody that it is a good policy, man. It started with the PMP, and I don't know if he could go against it, but at least he could avoid referring to it as, a go on good. Let the government make its own case, but that's not him. And I wonder if there's a reason for that.
So, where we are now is that side of things is running well. And will continue, I believe, to run well because the fiscal rules are in our law. And I don't think any government is going to abandon them because the sacrifices that both sides have incurred in order to get us where we are seen as a national achievement, not just here in Jamaica, but the world sees it as an achievement for us. But it is not sufficient.
So now we come to the point of him answering the question that was asked. What is he going to do? Since him saying going to be Prime Minister and put out poll to that effect, what is he going to do about the low growth? How is he going to get the growth to increase? What is he going to do about the low wages? What is it that he's going to do in terms of production? Is he going to get the low wages up? And where does he think it should be? Where should the production be? And these sort of questions. Now, he's going to be answering now, or should be answering that, but let's hear what he actually is saying. And I want you to listen very, very carefully. Make notes if you have to, so you don't forget what he's saying, all right? Pay close attention. Great. Let's listen.
The world sees it as an achievement for us, but it is not sufficient. It is not going to put food on people's table. It is not going to stop the brain drain. Jamaica has the second highest rate of migration of professionals in the world, of people who have skills in the world. It is not going to give the youth them on the corner who leave school with no subjects and want to be somebody. They want girl, they want drive something, they want ultimately own a house, etc. It's not going to stop them from looking at other things because it's not lawful that them can do and achieve anything. So what? Them gone down the wrong path. And that creates a whole heap of other problems for the society as a whole. So this thing is not working as it should work. So I have to make it work. So how are we going to make it work? I believe, first of all, there's more fiscal space now than there was 10 years ago. Chalk to cheese. So the resources that each ministry has available to it now is significantly greater than it was 10 years ago because of the success of that debt reduction program. That is what that has done for Jamaica. So it's a question of how do you prioritize the available resources and what do you spend it on? That's one issue. Secondly, what can you do to generate greater economic activity, productive activity, creating value here that can build wealth here for our people? So my belief is that the main thing we have to solve is investing in our people's capacity to be productive. So we have a problem in the education system. We have a problem socially with weak family structures and parenting challenges as well. And communities which are not, the village that used to grow up children in a right way, that those villages have so much other kind of problems and misbehavior and so on, that the youth, them not getting everything they need. So nutrition at school is an issue for many children. Transportation to school and back is an issue. And what we see, and it's well known, and it's talked about a lot, is that leaving primary school, over a third of the children can't read and write. And can't do basic arithmetic. Now, when you have that going into secondary school, there's no remedial program in place to fix that after that, So individual schools might try a thing, but there's no national program for addressing that issue. The problems that those children have from early carry right through to the finish school. Many of them leave, they don't have no subjects. Wow. And so that is we need to get that whole continuum from birth to adulthood. We have to sort that out. so that the youth them leaving primary school can read and write and do basic arithmetic. And so secondary school is receiving children who are ready for secondary school. Right now, over a third of them are not ready for secondary school. We have to fix that. So that the youth them leaving high school now are trainable and can move forward in life in a productive way. Then we have to invest in the training side right now. We have to use heart in a much more creative and effective way. And we have to integrate it with the private sector, because a lot of training is being done in the private sector as well. And we need to synergize that now and incentivize more investment in training by the private sector, so that we can have our people ready for the kind of jobs that can pay them well, and that are the 21st century economy around the things like robotics and AI and coding and all other things, services that can be done in Jamaica more efficiently than, say, in the US or wherever. So the whole global services thing and BPO, which we had a plan for, we had a 5-year plan when we left office, or I think it was a 5-year plan, to grow employment from 5 to 50,000 people in that sector. And that has rolled out successfully and has been, but now...
So let us pause here for a moment and analyze what he just said. He spoke about the issue of the fact that 1/3, well, assuming that it's a fact, because, we can't walk and talk after him. But let us assume that what he's saying is true, and there are 1/3 of our children leaving primary school unable to read or write and entering into high school. And he's referring to the fact that there is no remedial opportunity for those children to be able to read in the high school. Now, let me ask you a question. So that he sees as a problem, he needs to get the children to be able to read in order to make them trainable. I was not aware that there is a connection between the ability to read and training somebody, because you have a whole heap of people with skill all over the world, right? Can't read, but they are very good at whatever it is that they do. So there is a disconnect there in terms of his logic, be that as it may. Then now he spoke about them leaving high school and getting ready now to be trained. So I want to point out this first thing to you. There is nothing wrong with what he's saying, but what he's describing is what we call long-term policies, because he says from birth to when, of course, they become an adult. That is when they are 18. Children start school at 3 and they go to the high school at 12. They graduate at 17, go on to sixth form, which is another 2 years, which is 19, and then they may end up in a tertiary institution studying something for around 3 years. So you're talking about 22 is when they now reach into the job market to make themselves useful and to return or to be productive and add to the production of this country. 3 from 22, I don't know what your maths get. I get 19 years. You're talking about a policy that when he starts, because remember it's early childhood, and it is only early childhood he's talking about. And we won't be seeing the benefit of that policy until 19 years down the road. That's 3 election cycles we're talking about. So it is not that what he's saying is bad, but it is not a short-term fix to all these short-term problems that we have, as well as long-term problems. He's dealing, therefore, with something that is long-term. Now, we need to find out now. And as I said before, that is good, all well and good. He never said at all how he intends to do any such thing, whether he's going to be investing in the teaching methods, he's going to be investing in whatever, except to say that there's a nutritional problem at the school. I would think that and I think that this is a confusion that a lot of people have. It is my view that the key to any society being successful is that you must focus like a laser beam on the population that is of working age. I want you to listen to me good. Don't jump to conclusion yet. Hear me out. When you focus on those persons with working age and they are better off, them picnic is going to be better off. Them old people that them looking after is going to be better off. And the country on a whole is going to be better off because it's them paying the taxes. You follow me? So you get the adults to be better off. And what you will find is that the children are going to get the best education money can buy because the parents can now afford it. What he's talking about here is a policy that is going to correct something, the early childhood issues with the illiteracy coming through, but that is in an environment where the adults who are of working age remain in the same condition that they are in now. I wonder if you understand me. So now government has to do the job of what the parent ought to do. So he's talking about early childhood education and the child, to get the children to a position where they're, ready for high school. Now, the mere fact that he mentioned nutrition of the children is telling you that there is a problem in the home that these children are coming from. So now what we must listen to very keenly indeed, is what is his intention or plans towards this critical mass in our population, those persons who are of working age. It is because they are earning low wages. 83% of the population is earning low wages of minimum wage of $15,000 per week and less in a very high cost of living environment. That is the reason why we have a nutritional problem with the children at school who are not eating well. And we cannot generate enough taxes in order to do other things, right? Too much persons are poor in the country. So if you don't fix that problem by bringing more and more people into the middle class where they can deal with the situation of the children and can feed the children properly, then you will continue like this. At least we will continue like this for another 62 years. You understanding what I'm saying? So let us now listen keenly to hear what plans he has for those persons who are already in the job market. And we are talking about 1.4 million people and more. These persons, the critical mass in any society, the people who are of working age, and what plans he may have for those who are coming from the schools into the working population. So these are the real problems. Now let's listen if he has a plan, because if he has a plan, he understands the problems. If he does not, then it shows that he does not understand what the real problems are and merely telling you what he thinks you want to hear. So let's listen now. Listen good now, listen very carefully.
And incentivize more investment in training by the private sector so that we can have our people ready for the kind of jobs that can pay them well and that are the 21st century economy around the things like robotics and AI and coding and all other things, services that can be done in Jamaica more efficiently than, say, in the US or wherever. So the whole global services thing and BPO, which we had a plan for, we had a 5-year plan when we left office, or I think it was a 5-year plan, to grow employment from 5 to 50,000 people in that sector. And that has rolled out successfully and has been, but now it's in jeopardy because we're still operating at that low level of value added. We're doing the very basics. We need to take it up to more value added, knowledge process outsourcing, legal process outsourcing, coding and other things that require technical skills so that the people can make a good career out of those services. So what I'm really saying is people first. We have to invest in our people to have a productive economy. And if we invest in our people and our people are trainable and we provide the training opportunities and readiness for work opportunities, then it's going to have a massive and positive impact on crime and violence in the country as well. Because we're going to have yet less desperate youth who don't have any other pathway forward. And we also have to deal with other social issues around parenting and values and attitudes, and bring civics back into the curriculum in a real way, so people know what it is to be a citizen, know what their rights are, know what their responsibilities are, know what it means to be a father and a mother, and how to grow children properly, and all of those things. We need a totally new way of thinking about who we are as people and how we approach life, and training our people to be productive. Because it's a global situation and it's competitive, and we have the capacity to be great. We are great in certain areas, but we need to be great in more areas that will affect our income and the standard of living, quality of life in our country. There are also other opportunities, Colin.
Yes, go ahead.
So, for example, our geographical location. We are right on the exit of the Panama Canal, which is a major trade route in the maritime shipping trade route in the world. We have for a long time seen the possibility of Jamaica becoming a logistics hub, a center where ships can get serviced, can get fixed, where goods can be assembled, and higher value added done here. And we have a plan which we paid $1 million for, where we got support for it from the IDB, and it has not been rolled out, a master plan around that. And we see tremendous potential to build on that: logistics, warehousing, trucking, and connectivity with the world, making Jamaica integrating Jamaica into the global supply chains as much as possible. That's another area which I think can help to take Jamaica to another level. And then, of course, there's entertainment and creative industries, which you know a lot about and you speak a lot about, and where we have a definite competitive advantage because of our brand, our vibes, our language, the music where we make, the dance where we make. You know, with the rest of the world just rate all of that. So we can,
we need to get into film. That's where the money is. That's where the money is. The culture of Jamaica is so rich and is so craved around the world. Film is the packaging that we need to use to export more of that to the world, Comrade Leader. And it is on the PLP table.
We have a film industry, a small one, and you know, we need to interact with them and understand their needs and what can be done to make them more, you know, to make them grow and expand. And we've done, I mean, Jamaica, lots of great films have been made in Jamaica, for example.
So let us look now at the picture that we have seen so far from Mark. We're going to cut the interview with them at this point, and then I'll come back with another video with the other aspect of the interview, right? But let us now analyze what we've gotten from him so far in terms of this excellent question that was asked. He was asked, what are you going to do about low production? And he's saying that we need to train the youngsters, right? Remember, the youngsters not coming to the job market yet, you know. Good. That is where he began, by talking about early childhood education and training the youngsters. And he's blaming their inability to be trained, according to him, on the fact that they can't read. So he sees that as a problem. He sees it as a problem, but I am not quite sure I heard, maybe you have, him saying that he intends to do anything about it, other than pointing out that it is a problem. I am not convinced that I've heard him saying that he intends to do something about it or what he intends to do. That is another thing. Then he went on to speak about the BPOs, and that is about generating jobs, right? BPOs employ mainly young people, and they are employed mainly not for skills that they have, because these foreign companies, they come in and they have certain systems that computerized system, and it's not like they're trained to do anything. It's their voice and their ability to follow instruction. That's the main thing. I used to work in Xerox, so I understand that part of it. So there's no skill that is really involved. So the BPOs are really a place to provide employment for youngsters who are without skills, you know. And in some instance, you may have, require some skill, but it's not much, because, and then they train you. They train you. So you can go in from high school. Once you can speak properly, that's all you need to do, speak properly, proper English, and then they train you. Now, he spoke about that. Then now he went on to speak about the nutrition in the schools. We dealt with that already, that it's because there is a problem with money in the home why you have children that go into school not eating not eating properly, and therefore have a difficulty learning, which is understandable. So he spoke about that, but not really what he intends to do about that, except implying, suggesting, I don't know, because he never said that he was going to actually do anything. He merely pointed it out. You follow what I'm saying? Then he went on to speak now about the logistics hub, that the blueprint is there already for it, to provide employment, again, for higher skill working. Now these persons would have to be trained in logistics, and I believe I see Excelsior, the community college, with a logistics, they were preparing for it, a segment for logistics and all of that. So these are his main plank so far. Now, does it gel? Is what he described a plan of sorts, because it appears to me to be very hodgepodge, meaning that you're talking about education, early childhood, you talk about training, right? Yes, the training is what is going to give people the higher income. So there's a connection. Then he spoke about the job creating aspect of the society, that he thinks where we can provide jobs for persons. But here is the disconnect. The disconnect really comes with the fact that we have a problem with migration. Big problem. In other words, a lot of people are leaving, some because they have families abroad and they're going abroad to join the family. A lot of children, mainly. So after you finish educating them here in Jamaica, we spend good money educating them and expect now that they are going to come and find a job and build the society, build the productive capacity of the society. The children take up and gone build somebody else's capacity and make them rich. First problem. The next problem is that the wages that are being offered, I said before, it is uncompetitive. Other people are offering them more money to work there than they are working here. I hear of a plumber working with government in New York earning $100,000 a year. Why is he going to stay here unless he's out on his own making some, money? And you can't have only so many plumbers, right? So he has not dealt with that problem, because I would think if you have a plan, a solid plan, which is gelling, which will bring growth and development to your country, then that is one of the first things you would look at. You would look at that and then decide, having determined that we need to be competitive with wages, we are going to let our wage be US dollars equivalent per hour by such and such a time. And then while you're working towards that, you're there spending money over there on the early childhood to make the children, and you focus upon what it is. Since you said that illiteracy is a problem, you focus on what it is that is causing that illiteracy and spend the money there. Then you have the training and so on, so that when the children, them after these 19 years, them looking only at one thing, the majority of them, finding a nice job that pays them well, and then they can start them family, right? And the real significance of a competitive wage, real importance of competitive wages, is that you get to keep your workers here. The highly skilled workers, the unskilled workers, you keep them here rather than them going abroad to find work that is paying them significantly more than they're getting here. Now, without that component, we'll listen in the next segment to see if he has dealt with it. But if he has not, then what it is telling us is that the plan is not going to go anywhere that is going to benefit this country. In other words, we're going to spend the money like we've been spending for the past 62 years, and the people then going to take up themselves and go foreign. The working age people will be in the same condition, and so we just continue as we are going nowhere. So I'm going to end it now. We're going to come back with the next part of this interview, and I want you to return. Very important that you listen to the two parts. I notice that persons may listen to one part and not the next. But you're here with me all the time, so you will understand what is going on. So let me end it now. We'll come back with the second part or another segment of the interview, and then we can analyze it. But so far, we are not hearing a cohesive plan. He's simply telling you, in my view, what it is that he thinks he needs to say in order for you to say, woo, because they think we are imbeciles. They actually believe that we are stupid people and that all they have to do is to say certain things and we'll be impressed by that and run out and go give them a vote. But if you are here with 411, Jamaica 411, we are going to be looking at these things more critically. So let me thank you for joining me. Thank you for sharing, liking, subscribing, and leaving your comments in the comment section. Until next time, you take good care of yourselves and walk good.